Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. So today in the mail, I got the nicest gift. The lovely folks at Rubber Stamp Tapestry, I'm sure I've talked about them before. They have been great supporters of my channel from the very beginning, and I formed a friendship with one of the owners, Rebecca. She's a lovely lady, and she helped me with doing all kinds of things for my channel to help getting the word out about it, and I really appreciate that about her. And so she came out with these new stamp sets, and they're so darn cute. I wanted to show you the stamp sets first, and then I wanted to show you how I cut these kind up, because these come in a big long piece of rubber, and so far I've cut these out. And what I do with them is you've seen, I'm sure, that I keep all of my stamps in CD cases, and I buy those online or at garage sales, wherever I can get them. Here's what I do to cut them out. I cut as close as I can to the bottom edge of, this is a sentiment that I'm doing right now. I'm going to go around the move it off to the side so you can see better. Maybe you're getting probably a glare of that. I'll just move it up. There, you should be able to see this better. And then what I do is I just go around the E, and then I just kind of angle it just to get it cut out of there. Then what you want to do is make sure you cut closer to the letters. If your letters are on top of each other, it's not a big deal, but like these ends, you're going to have, if you don't use a Misty, if you use a regular acrylic block to stamp these with, you're going to end up having some harsh lines. And I'm sure you've seen me trim stamps before, like the peg stamps, but you also have to do it with red rubber stamps, especially if you don't line them. And a lot of people put foam backing on their stamps. I've never done that because I've never felt the need to. I've always used tools that helped me, so like the Misty or the Stamp Perfect, or now the new Tim Holtz tool. And then to put it in the case, I just use Aleene's Tack It Over and Over. Now a lot of people, I put a very little bit. That looks like a lot, but it's just kind of that color, so it's smeary. I put mine in my case wet. I've never had a trouble with putting it in there. A lot of people say you have to let it dry first. I've never had any problems. So I just put them so that I can get the most in there as possible, and then I'll just finish cutting the rest out later. So I just wanted to show you how I do that. Then I have a paper, there it is, I have a, cut this out please, Rich. I have a label maker, and so I put the name of the company of the stamp set, and I also put the stamp set on it. I'm sure you've seen this in many videos. I always show them when I show the end of a CD case. So what you do is then you close your case, not on the opening part of the case, but the end of the case that doesn't open. You're just going to take the back off of your label. So that's how I do that. I'm also going to show you how to make a card with this stamp set as soon as I'm done showing you all of these. Here is the rest of it. It wasn't just sentiments, although they're all bee-related stamp sets, and this is called Bee-utiful Day. The stamp sets go live today, so I want to make sure that you know about them. That's the sentiment part of it, and some bigger bees. Then this set is out there. It's called Chamomile Bee, and I love this set. It has a hive in there, and then it has lovely little daisies and little bees. I just love it. And then there's like a little grassy background, kind of frondy looking thing. I don't know, is frondy a word? It's a frond of some kind. I'm making that up. But anyway, that's those. And I always write the names on mine, but there's that frondy looking thing I was talking about. Now this is one of the things you'd probably want to trim, and I'll show you why. When you have an image that's just in the center like that, all I do is I take the same red rubber stamps, and I just kind of go along the edge, and I just snip off the stuff that I don't want. And all you really need to snip off is the edge, not anything in from the edge. You just want to make sure that where there isn't stamped image, you want to just clean those sides off. In the end, that really takes care of anything you have with a stamp that's really in the center like that. Now if you have a bigger stamp, like see this one, it takes up the whole stamp basically, you won't have any problems with that. You won't need to trim it. But like I said, the ones that you have problems with are the ones where you have a thinner image in the center. Very easy to trim though. So this stamp is called Field of Clover, the stamp set. And I'm missing one of my stamps, I think, but in it I have a long tall flower and kind of a short round flower. I don't know what kinds of flowers these are. I will get the names of them. You know how I always write it on the sides of these. And then there's a bee and then clover. Okay, in this one I have the beehive that's very big comparatively speaking, and then I have the frond I talked about, then a little bee, and then a daisy that's kind of full on daisy, and then one that's from the top. This one looks more like echinacea to me, and then a littler one of the same. So those two are bigger and smaller, and then that frond that I talked about. So that's that set, and then I showed you the other set. There's my little bee. And then in this set, the bee is bigger. See, it's that size. And then in the case, I'll show you the size of the bee, so just so you have an idea of the different sizes of bees, in case you're a bee girl or man. In the beehive set, you have one that's 1/4 of an inch. In the set that's called Field of Clovers, it is about, let's see, 3/8 of an inch. That's that one. Then in the Bee-utiful Day, is it? Yes, in the Bee-utiful Day set you have the littlest one, which is about 1/2 inch across. Then you have the next one that is 1 inch tall, and then you have the jumbo, which is 1.5 inches on its wingspan, and then you have this one that has the flying path behind it, and it is a little bit over 1/2 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch I'd say, plus it's got that long windy path behind it. Then this one has the little the thing, I don't know what you call it. You put it in a jar, and it's a honey pot. That's what you do. It's called a honey pot, and it's got a little honey pot dipper in it. That's this thing. Then it has another swirl, and then it has the honeycomb. So this is a really versatile set if you like bees and if you like bee stamps. Bees are very popular right now, so I think this is going to be a great set to use. And so we're going to get started making a card. Okay, so I thought we'd make a card. We're going to make one that has have a beautiful day and you're sweeter than honey on it. It's going to be like a thank you note, and we're going to start. I like to, if I can, do all my stamping at once. So what I do is I stick both of my sentiments in the MISTI, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to do the inside of the card first. I'm using Memento Dewdrops, and this one is Espresso Truffle. And if you watch my channel, you know I like to stamp more than once. Okay, that'll be good enough. So that's the inside of the card. So I'm just going to put that aside. Then I took some dies. I'll take this off. I took some dies and I cut the border off of this and made like a little stitched almost piece. It's about 2 3/4 inches wide and about 4 3/4 inches tall, I think. And I'm going to stamp this pretty close to the center. Not really, more in the upper portion of the card. And this is You're Sweeter Than Honey. I'm going to do almost all of my stamping on this piece, and I'll show you why in a second. One more. That's that one. Okay. Get that out of the way. Everything else I'm going to be stamping with, those were all from the Bee-utiful Day stamp set. And I could do some of the beeswax, what is it called? Honeycomb. Honeycomb, yeah. I could have done the honeycomb, but I'm not going to do that yet. I might do it later. Right now, I'm thinking I want to stick to the peg stamps for the rest of the card, and I'll explain that when we get there. So let me get the Misty out of the way. I have this Darice embossing folder, and I ran a couple pieces of paper through it because sometimes the Vagabond is a little aggressive and makes a kind of a fold in the middle of the card. I can't explain it better than that, but I didn't want to have that happen, so I put 2 pieces of paper in, and I just have a scrap underneath. We're going to use Gina K's, I think it's called Sweet Corn. Yeah, Sweet Corn. I really like this ink. I showed it in another video, and we're just going to kind of lightly go across this to make it look like it's a honeycomb pattern. You're not going to push hard because that will press it down. Now you can do your edges, that's okay. I mean, I'm not looking for utter perfection, but I don't want the middle of this image to have a lot of the yellow on it. We don't want any sweet corn in the center. That's what I'm saying. Or not much anyway. That will make the outside of our card look a little bit less white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put this on top of it raised up. And I'm going to do the same thing with the coloring once I do my stamping. And the stamps I'm going to be using these ones. And they are the Bitty Buzzing Bee, the Chamomile Sprig, the Open Chamomile, and the Chamomile Flower that's small, and then the Fern that comes with the other set. The Fern comes with the Field of Clover set. So everything else came from the Chamomile Bee set, and you can get all of their stamps individually, so you don't have to get all of these. You could get a couple if you wanted, or whatever you want. I'm going to start with my biggest open flower, which is the Open Chamomile, and I'm going to just kind of stamp the outside of it, and then I'm going to, I'm hoping that these mementos will work with my other with my alcohol markers, because Memento black ink does. It. Now I'm going to use my alcohol inks and do some coloring with them because I thought that that would be frisky. And I'm going to use, let's see, 35 and 45, and I don't know if I'm using any other colors than these right now. I like it's like a lighter yellow and a darker yellow. And I'm just going to color the centers of these flowers with the darker of the two. Making sure I didn't miss any of those. Okay, that's those. This isn't going to be a super colorful card, but I think it'll be frisky. It just makes it, I just want to make sure the person that gets it likes it, you know? That's all I care about. And I'm just doing this just a little bit, not a ton. This is my colorless blender, and what it should do is it should kind of move the color a little bit and lighten it. So when you use it, it's nice because you can really play with the color a little bit. Blending. Going to a different brand. Going to my chamomile. Yeah. That's the stamp set. Chameleon is the name that I'm doing on this. Jeepers. You guys are probably thinking I'm losing my mind. I'm going to go back to my corn, sweet corn, Ooh, almost dropped that. That would have been horrible. And I'm going to use my yellow brush. These are from, these called Harbor Freight Liquidator. They're called 1-inch chip brushes, and I got a box of 36 of them, I think, or 32 for $8 on sale, and they work really great as blending brushes. If you've never heard my story, I really like these. I feel like I've got a lot more control with them. I cut about 3/4 of an inch off the top of them when I got them, so that you can really control the color and what your brush is doing. If you let the brush stay the way it is when you get it, you won't like it, and you'll wonder why you don't like it. And it's because you have that 3/4 of an inch you need to cut off to make it straight across, and then the brushes work really well, and I think you'll like it. I need to put a couple of things on the inside of this. I did forget I wanted to put a few sprigs and a little bit of color in here. It's a little blah right now. I'm just going to do the ferns for now. And then I'm going to turn them the other way. They're upside down, but I don't think anybody will notice. And then I'm just going to put some flowers in. Not with the green, because I don't want to screw this up again. I really like these. Which one should I go with? I'm going with these. I really like these. I think they're frisky. Going with the brown. And these stamps, honestly, these stamps make it so easy. I love them. If you didn't know that already, you're probably sick of hearing it, but I do love them. They're just great. And the lovely people sent me from Peg Stamps, sent me these stamps. And I thought that was really, really sweet of them. Rebecca's such a nice lady. Her husband, Donnie, and it's a family-owned business, and they run it, and they do almost everything themselves. And she's also a mother and homeschools her kids, so she's a busy, busy woman. And I love that she would think enough of me to send these to me. Now all we need is our foam. Oh, someone asked me, where did you get these? And you know, I said to them, I don't know where I got them. But this is funny. I was at the Dollar Tree in their automotive section, and guess what they had there? These. So I must have bought them at the Dollar Tree. I don't remember doing that, but you know, in all things, I don't really remember half the stuff I do. So anyway, that's where I got them. Maybe I have some of the dreaded foam tape left. And if I do, this could be the end of it, and we'll all have a little party in our heads. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm getting rid of the dreaded foam tape. I'll use that on something else. Okay, so I put my fun foam on them, and I took the backing off, which probably wasn't smart because I didn't do the front. Here's my inside of my card, and here's the outside. So we're going to take our stamp, or our little tape runner. I'm probably also going to use some wet glue on this because it's set up so that I'm just worried it's not going to stay glued in place, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to put little dabs here and there just to make sure that it stays glued down. Okay, so now we're just going to layer our base down on our card. Make sure it's even everywhere if we can. Okay, there's that piece. And then we're going to take this piece. Let's see how we did with that. I think that's okay. There's that part. And then I just need to stamp the back and make my envelope. I'm going to use this one, the big one. People said, why do you not use it? Made for you by Sandy Parker. And then let's get our envelope. We're probably going to have to make our own envelope because this one's going to be a little bit different size than it should be. So let me measure it, and I'll be right back. I'll just make one and come back. Okay, so we're going to do the envelope now. I'm going to put a little bit of 2 different greens on it. I think I'm going to do some of this garden green on the sprig, as well as the bamboo leaves. So we're just going to stamp that and then do a quick stamp with that other kind. I just want it to be a little bit darker. I've had so much fun doing envelopes since I started using these stamps on them. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me so happy. I just think that's just a lot of fun. That's all I'm saying. You could turn these into brown-eyed Susans, black-eyed Susans, black-eyed Susans, brown-eyed Susan. Jeepers Creepers, I can't remember the name of that either. Black-eyed Susan. Look, I'm talking to myself now. Not like I'm normally not talking to myself when I'm talking to you guys, but okay. So there's our envelope. I'm going to get that out of the way so I don't get everything in the way. And here's our card. I hope you enjoyed this. I really love these new stamps. The bees are cute. The flowers are just amazing. I just think they're so classy and classic, you know, just a really cute design, and I know I'm going to be using them a lot. Rebecca, thank you so much for sending them to me. I hope everyone will give this a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about it on social media. Before I go, I do want to tell you that Lindsay currently has a discount code on the peg stamps, so if you go to Lindsay the Frugal Crafter's website and type in peg stamps, I'm sure you will find videos that will give you a discount on peg stamps if you're interested in them, and I hope you are, because they're loads of fun. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.